How are you guys doing? Hope everybody is progressing and things are moving forward in life. Today, I want to talk about defining yourself, man. You gotta be careful how you define yourself because you will live up to your own definition of who you are. So if somebody says you're stupid, you are going to try to live up to the definition of stupidity. So you will do things in line with that definition. If people tell you that you're dirty, subconsciously, your mind will seek to make it true. And what the mind will do is you will behave in a manner that is dirty. You will have dirty habits. That's why I think there was a Japanese proverb or something like that where if you want to kill a man, you don't have to physically kill him, just kill his hope, his spirit. Basically, trap him in a definition of self and of life that is disempowering. So if you go and tell a group of people, listen, you guys are really silly, all of you are dumb and you're not smart and your destiny is not great, if they believe it, if they internalize that dogma, that narrative, that's exactly what their lives are going to be. Convince anybody of a definition that is disempowering, and you know exactly what their future is going to be like. That's why it's so important that you have to understand, as a child, when you're growing up, you don't really have as much control over that definition as when you become an adult. When you become an adult, when you are over 18, when they say you've reached the age of consent, what they're also talking about is that's not the ability to be legally responsible for your behavior, whether it's a crime, whether it's a consequence at the office space, that you are an adult and you understand the consequences of the actions that you take, and you will be held liable for your behavior and what you choose to do with yourself in the world. That liability, that consequence is also hides something else. That transition from a child to a man, or a child to a boy to a man, a girl to a woman, is the point at which you become responsible for the definition of who you are and what you are. You are responsible for defining your potential. You have to define your potential with the greatest, the most positive, the most amazing definition. You cannot define yourself as stupid. You cannot define yourself as dumb. You cannot define yourself as poor. You cannot. So when people say, I am poor, I am broke, I hate hearing those words because you are cementing, you are channeling the present disempowering state. I am broke doesn't help anybody. You should rather say, I am attracting opportunities to make money. I am seeking opportunities to make money. I am looking for additional streams of revenue. That's what solves the I am broke. I am broke doesn't solve anything. It simply just highlights that I'm broke, it channels that I'm broke, and festers and puts you in a quagmire of the present. People who say, we are poor, are not doing anything to end their poverty. If you're poor, that means you need to have what? You need what? Abundance. You need money. So channel abundance. We have great abundance. We are rich. We are wealthy. That's how affirmations work. You affirm the opposite of your current state that you don't want to be in. If you're weak, you affirm I am strong. So if you want to be something, define yourself as that and then grow into that definition. If you say to yourself, it's like a goal. You say, I want to run 10 kilometers. You don't start off running 10 kilometers. You practice and you push until you get to running 10 kilometers. But you set the definition which allowed you to grow into it. So you channel yourself into that definition. Same thing if you say, I want to be CEO. I am a great CEO. I am a great leader. I am a millionaire. I am successful. I am a happy person. If you tend to be negative, I am a happy person. I'm a joyful person. You set that definition and you grow into it. The importance of knowing that there's a transition between childhood definitions and adult definitions is the following. Because look, guys, a lot of us did not know that our parents may have a negative outlook on life. Our parents may have disempowering beliefs. Our environment may be disempowering. It may be ugly. It may be violent. We have to define ourselves beyond our childhood environment. We have to ask ourselves, What did I learn in my childhood as disempowering beliefs, as disempowering definitions of myself? Did my father tell me I'm stupid? Did the school say I'm not smart? Did they call me worthless? Did they say that people of your skin color are idiots and will never be anything? People can define you in so many different ways. And as a child, you just absorb it. But as an adult, you have to question those definitions and then put in place a new one, which allows you to be more than you've ever been. You have to, you can't allow a limitation that you had when you were 14. When you were 14, you wanted to move overseas. You didn't have the means to do so, and so you couldn't. So you internalize that you can't move overseas. You'll never move overseas, and people around you said the same thing. But now you're an adult in your 20s, 30s, 40s. Instead of saying to yourself, well, look, I would like to move overseas. What do I need? Do I have a passport? Do I have the right visas? Do I have money? Do I need to raise the money? How will I raise the money that allows me to move overseas? How will I raise the money that allows me to own a business? How will I raise the money that allows me to own the car that I would like to own? You've got to put in place the resources that allow you to go towards the direction you would like to move. And in so doing, is how you start to become the individual that you would like to be. That's how you become the individual that you would like to exist as in the world. If you were skinny and lanky as a child, you can define that I'm strong, I'm masculine, and you will start behaving in a manner. You will eat the right foods. You would be taking the protein shakes. You'll be hitting the gym and lifting the weights to gain the bulk. That is how you transform your life into what you define yourself as. And the danger is that we listen too often to the definitions of other people and allow them to imprison us. Somebody tells you that you are stupid, so you try to prove yourself smart to that person and you're imprisoned by their opinion of you. Or you take their opinion as God. People are not gods. They are not God. They are simply people. Their opinions are their opinions. They are not the mouth of God. They cannot tell you that you will be nothing. They do not have control over the universe, its parameters, or all the possible extraneous variables that can interact to ensure that you succeed. If you choose to say, I will succeed, I am successful, if you choose to do that, your life will change. Your perspective of life will change. You can go from a guy who says, I never get the beautiful girl, to a guy who says, I always get the beautiful girl. And your mind and your spirit and your energy, maybe it's the law of attraction, will start pushing you towards becoming that kind of guy. Maybe you will dress better. You will get better sense. You will get a better job. You will get a better car. You start doing things that allow you to be able to exist in that state. So it's so important, guys, that you understand these issues and you be able to use them to your advantage by defining yourself. It's the most powerful thing you can do is define yourself positively, define yourself powerfully. Don't allow people to trap you with their words, and don't allow yourself to trap yourself with your own words and beliefs, and don't allow the childhood beliefs that you have to trap you. Because a lot of us are trapped by that. Maybe our parents told us money is hard to make. And so we continually create situations where money is hard to make because we are living up to that belief that money is hard to make. That's our perspective. While if we start to believe money is easy, it flows to me, I get millions of dollars, I get tens of thousands of dollars, suddenly our lives change. What changed was our acceptance of what reality is to us. We live up to our definitions. It's important to understand that. Define yourself positively. Speak positivity into your life. Speak positivity into yourself. And define yourself as you would like to be. And the most important thing is be careful. Because everybody on earth has an opinion about who you are. Everybody, their mother and their sister, your girlfriend, whatever. They've all got definitions of who they think you are. Ex-girlfriends, whatever. Haters, enemies. If you allow the words that come out of other people's mouths to be who you try to be, here's the problem. Everybody's got a different opinion about you. You're going to be schizophrenic. You're going to be inconsistent. You are never going to find a flow. You're never going to find a foundation on which you can grow as a human being, as a personality, a journey, a path that you take as you, not as somebody else. You can never be anybody else. You can be the most unique version of yourself. You can be the best version of yourself. You can't be Michael Jackson. You can't be Jay-Z. You can't be Barack Obama. You can't be Boris Johnson. You can't be Michael Schumacher. But you can definitely be the best version of yourself, and you can learn from those people. But you can't allow other people to define you. And because you're going to be running around continually being a different person. This is like the people who change based on who they're dating. When she's dating that guy, she's that woman. When she's dating this guy, she's a church chick. When she's dating that guy, she's a golf freak. When she's dating that guy, she's always a different person because she doesn't know who she is. She hasn't defined herself. She hasn't created the definition of who she is, what her purpose in life is, where she's going that she can live up to. She allows other people to define her and to fill in that emptiness of definition inside her. So some men define her in negative ways. They just define her as whatever, my slut, whatever. When I need something, that's how. So she tries to play to that role because that's where the value of definition is. That's where she feels she has a purpose because she's never defined it for herself. The same way that as a guy, if you don't define who you are, somebody can define you and say you're a janitor. That's all you're ever going to be. That is not who you are. Somebody can decide you're never going to be anything more than a low-down, dirty criminal, and that's what you choose to live up to. It doesn't have to be that way. You can say, yes, I've been to jail. Yes, I have failed in life. Yes, I've been divorced. Yes, I've made mistakes. But I choose to define myself as valuable. I choose to define myself as righteous. I choose to define myself as somebody who's got something to give to the world. And that is so important that you control your narrative. You control your definitions. Mastery of one's own definition is the most important aspect of your life. Definition of how I'll dress, how I will speak, how I will express myself in the world, how I will, what can I say, how I will take what I know in my head and transform it into something others can use or something beautiful, whether it's poetry, sculpting, engineering, architecture. I will find a path that is unique to me, that allows me to define myself in the most powerful version of myself. And that is the power of definition. Define yourself powerfully, guys. Stop listening to the disempowering beliefs of other people and even be cautious. There might be somebody who tells you, you will be a great accountant. You will be a great accountant. Even though that is not your desire. And even though you're good at accounting, you would prefer to be an economist. Then pursue your definition of self, because you can also be misled by people who think they are speaking positive on you, but they're speaking you into a definition that leads you along a path that is not in line with your spirit. Which means that you will always feel that this isn't right. This is not the thing I should be doing, because yes, you're good at it, but it's not what you desire to do. So sometimes you find guys who are like, oh, I was a great musician, and suddenly they stop making music and decide they're going to live on a farm in Montana, because that's what's in line with his spirit and with his self-definition. I want to be an outdoors man. I really don't find singing in front of a concert hall with 100,000 people that great. So and some people, maybe I'm a great person on Wall Street and I'm making all this money, but I'm not happy because I'm not doing what I want to do. Yes, people define me as a millionaire, as all these things, but I choose to define myself as an artist, and I want to be an artist. I want to go and do art. Or maybe it's another kind of person who says, I'm a great artist, but I prefer to be an architect or be a plumber. It's okay as long as you're making a living, you're earning the money, and you're defining yourself in a manner that is fine with you. You're at peace with that definition. So make it a point to sit down and ask yourself that critical question. Who am I? What am I here for? Now, please do not get into that position where you start saying, oh man, I can't figure out who I am and what I'm here for. And you start stressing about it. Don't stress about it. Ask the questions and gently seek the answers. Give yourself time. Ruminate, meditate, find the answers in due time, but don't make it another issue to be stressed about. Like, oh man, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing in my life. I don't have a purpose. I don't know what to do with myself. I don't know who I am. Then you turn it into a point of worry, a point of psychological stress versus a point of strength to say, I'm curious to find out what my purpose is. I'm curious to find out what my gift and my talent is. I'm curious to see what I can achieve and do in this lifetime for other people and for myself. I'm curious to discover what I am here for. I want to see What happens if I define myself as an outdoorsman? And remember this, definitions can change because humans are always evolving and growing. You may, at this point in time, become, I want to be the greatest surfer that ever lived, and do that for the next 10 years and you rule the waves. Then one day you wake up, it's like Forrest Gump moment. You wake up and say, I'm tired of running. I'm tired of surfing. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to do something else. There's nothing wrong with that. Throughout your lifetime, you can serve as many roles and definitions as you want, as long as you're not hurting other people and you are living the life you want to live. Continue enjoying to define yourself. Don't try to stick to a definition you created when you were 14, 12, 15, 20, 25, 35. The world is in flux, and your personality and your intellect is in flux. How you did something 15 years ago is not how you do it now. Embrace the change. Keep growing, keep evolving, keep getting better. Define yourself as you would love to be. Until next time, guys, do more, be more, become more on your purpose.